Knowledge for Men, episode 78.
Welcome to knowledgeformen.com, where you're going to grow into the man you want to be. Your life will never be the same again. I can guarantee it.
Hey guys, one of the questions I've been getting a lot lately is, can you put together a list of the best books and success quotes from all of your guests and combine that into one guide? And so I've actually just done that. It's called the top 30 books and success quotes every man must live by. So out of all of the podcast episodes I've done, over 60, I finally put together this guide, and you can download it for free at kfmfree.com. Again, that's kfmfree.com. Hi guys, welcome to the show. I'm here with Remington. He's one of the founding members of the Dallas Stunt Riders, a renowned motorcycle group that travels the country performing death-defying stunts. Remington's also a singer and songwriter. All right, Remington, happy to have you on the show.
What's up? Absolutely. Happy to be here.
All right, and let's jumpstart the show with a favorite success quote of yours, something that you've lived by and why.
I guess it's threefold. I guess kind of the first two stem from my mother, which it's either get busy living or get busy dying, because you can't stay the same. It's impossible. And then the other one was like, you can pray all you want, but God puts you in this ocean called life, and if you don't swim, he's going to let you drown. So, and then the third one would be that something I came up with. It's called champion, and it's just that champion lifestyle. It's like, don't accept failure, and you just be a champion.
All right, nice quotes there. And let's now learn more about you and learn your story of how you got started with what you do.
Yeah, my dad was an athlete. My mom's a musician. And so ever since I was born, those two characteristics were definitely innate. And I was just born to be wild, and no joke, from a very young age. I almost died many times. And so for some reason, I always wanted to have a motorcycle, since I would literally pray about it like every day, like, God, give me a motorcycle and a dirt bike or something. And my mom hated two things, motorcycles and tattoos. And I've got a lot of tattoos, and I motorcycle stunt rides. She probably hates me. Anyway, she said, like, hey, when I was 8 years old, she's like, you have to play a musical instrument. It's our family legacy. I will disown you if you don't, kind of thing. And she's just like really encouraging, like, hey, trust me, when you get older, you'll be the life of the party and all the girls will want you. And I was like, I'm 8, but sure. And so I did the saxophone first, and I hated it. So I switched to guitar when I was 12, and I hated saxophone because I got up there on one of her artist stage. She's a vocal teacher for the stars, if you will. Her name's Linda Septian. Anyway, she made me get up on her showcase, and I almost pissed my pants, shaking, couldn't. I said, that is the one and only time I will do that. Never again get me on a stage. And that was it. I was never again. So fast forward to 15 years old, I'm walking down the red carpet with Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, because those are my mom's vocal students. So I get pulled by the rope, like right next to the stanchions there, by this girl, and says, I want your autograph. And I'm like, okay. So I signed her autograph. And then I go to the next girl, sees that one. And so I sign her autograph, and everybody thinks I'm the celebrity at this point. Yeah, and I have no idea why, but I was like, yeah, my album's dropping next year. I was lying. And my mom yanks me and goes, hey, you don't deserve that. I told you can sing, and you just, that I told you it's fun. And I literally go, can I have my first voice lesson? And I took it the next day, and I was horrible. I was singing Creed, and that was like my band back in the day when I was 15. And I was really flat and couldn't sing very well, but I knew I was on a mission to get the girls. And then it became a passion. After that, when I was about 17, I started playing piano and songwriting and engineering and producing and mixing and dancing. And all the while playing basketball was my sport. And I had a full ride to Kings Point in New York. And I had to make a decision at the end of the year. It was I was going to go to college and play basketball or pursue music full time. And I'm 6 foot. And so I was like, well, I probably have a better shot in the music industry, but I love sports. So it was a really hard decision for me. And so I went for it. And then at that time, I was at a couple offers, and then some deals went through that didn't go through, and some stuff happened. So, but I was bound and determined, like, I'm not going to stop. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And so, I mean, I explored a lot of avenues from pop music to, I mean, I broke up with my girlfriend, so all of a sudden I did depressing rock, and then hard rock, and then soft rock, and then Latin rock, and then now back to pop electronic rock, and just trying to. It took me a lot of years to find out who I was, and but in the meantime, I got my first motorcycle at 20, and how I did that was my mother hated my gauge earrings, that they were like really big, and she's so just every time she saw me she would just wince, and I was like, what is wrong, can you stop? And she goes, I just can't stand them. She goes, I will do anything for you to take those out. And I said, anything? And she goes, anything. And I said, I'll do it for a motorcycle. And that's what I said. And she goes, done. And I go, you're kidding me. I go, you don't screw me on this. She goes, nope, I will buy you a motorcycle. So the next day had them sewn up by a doctor, plastic surgeon, and went up to her, and she's like, hey, I go, check it out. And she goes, no way. I go, where's my motorcycle? And it took me 3 months to convince her to get it to me, because she thought, what if I'm responsible for you dying or something like that? I'm like, promise is a promise.
She didn't think that you were actually going to do it.
No, I guess she thought, maybe she'd have some time to think about getting this motorcycle. And I didn't let up on it, because I was like, this is it. And she bought it for me. And I instantly, first thing I wanted to learn, how to wheelie. And then I started going fast on the highways, got into the circuit, and then met one of the founders of Dallas Stunt Riders, and we just started. We're the OG group. Like we started it, and we started getting national people around the stunt groups saw us. And again, while I'm doing this, pursuing my music career, if you're stunning, you're not singing, and if you're singing, you're not stunning. So there's only 24 hours in a day. So it was very tough, but I just put in the time, and I mean, I rode my motorcycle every day, everywhere I went. So I got the seat time in. And then we got so much notoriety on the news because we had big rides, and every Memorial Day, and we would have cops out there and news cameras and helicopters. And so all of a sudden, we get contacted by this pilot, and Jason Newberg from Viper Air Shows, and he goes, how about I give you guys a safe alternative and you get paid? And we're like, really? What do you want us to do? He goes, I want to do something that no one else is doing. I go, I'm about that life. And so we sucked. We didn't know what the heck we were doing, but we organized this Blue Angel motorcycle stunt show where we're choreographed in the whole deal. And at first it was hard because we didn't know who was better, who was worse, who could do what trick. And then I started bringing. So my first show was like 9,000 people, and we brought some really junky merchandise, but we sold out of it all. And I'm like, wow. So we did it the next weekend, but I brought my CDs and stickers this time. This time it was like 20,000 people per day. And we signed autographs for like an hour and a half, more than any of my music shows. And I'm sitting there going, wow, there might be something to this. And I gave them my CDs. They're like, oh, you're a musician too? I'm like, yeah, check it out, do the thing. So, and then I get the idea. I was like, the next show after that was a 50,000 person show. We started getting bigger. And all of a sudden, my pilot goes, can you edit my music? And I said, I'll do it on one condition for free if you let me put my music in the show. And he's like, all right, cool, man. So anyway, he did that. So we started, then it clicked. The Oshkosh is the biggest show. It's about 500,000 people. And there's A-list artists that sing at that. And I got the idea. I go, wait a minute. What if the lead singer for somebody was also the stunt rider and then went on the stage and stunted, then drove off the stage and then went into the air show and then joined the team? Like it's never been done. I go, there's my niche. There's what I don't have to make a decision on whether I'm doing motorcycles or music. I can put them together. And so then that's when I was like, there's my lane. And so that's how it was born. And so now trying to get that lane, on tour, because no one's ever done it. So, and it's an expensive lane. So it's a big production. So I'm working on setting up a tour.
Wow, it's just such a interesting niche that you got going on there. And just to backtrack a little bit, would you say that you discovered yourself through music? Like you said, you were doing different types of rock, like depressing rock after the breakup, hard rock, Latin rock, soft rock, to now like electronic pop rock.
Absolutely, man. And it's been a tough journey for me because picking one sport is hard for me. Like one day I want to wakeboard, the next day I want to snowboard, the next day I want to skateboard, the next day I want to just go play paintball, or I love all types of things in life. I enjoy doing because everybody asks me, what would you do? What would you cut out? Or if you had to do one thing? And I'm like, I couldn't just do one thing. I get bored easily. So the same thing in music. It's been a hard journey for me because, a lot of record labels and a lot of people, they want you to stay in the one lane and don't confuse your listener. And I'm like, man, that's hard because sometimes I just want to play a piano song and chill and bleed my soul out because of something that happened in my life. And then sometimes I just want to party and have a good time. And then, and everything in between. So it's been a hard thing for me to break out in music because of the fact that I don't just do one lane. So I'm trying to figure that out. And I think if you can match the energy with the visuals, I think Michael Jackson did it best. The business model of Michael Jackson, you sit there and you go, he's got the lead guitar player, he's got the entertainment value, the production, and then he can break it down and sing you Man in the Mirror, and the next song could be Dirty Diana. And then just add some motorcycles to that, and there you go. Hopefully that could be me.
So it looks like you're trying to find the intersection of your passions of singing and riding bikes. And it looks like you found the way where you can sing and then just hop on a motorcycle off stage and then go do some crazy stunts and then come back on stage and sing.
Yeah, for sure. And to be the first one to do it, I think that would be, no one's done it. So I think, imagine if Selena Gomez came out in the middle of Thanksgiving Day at the Cowboys and started stunning and singing at the same time, you would never forget it. The guys love it and the girls love it. Back to the age-old saying, girls want to get with you and guys want to be you. If you can get both of those things going, then I think you've found what you need to do.
Right. And just so the audience can get like a better idea of what kind of stunts are you doing on your motorcycle, if you can kind of break one of these stunts down that you do.
Yeah, for sure. We put like 6 motorcycles on the runway, and we're about a foot or two away from each other in like a V-shaped pattern. So we can touch each other in the middle of a wheelie going about 55 miles an hour. And then the plane either starts behind us or cuts through us on a knife edge, which means like he's vertical winged, and then his tail is cocked so that it looks like you're not supposed to be able to fly that way. And he does it at about a foot off the ground, almost dragging his wingtip. So if he hits, we're all screwed. If he messes up, we're all screwed. There's no room for error whatsoever. And he'll buzz us. And we even have a video on YouTube. You literally just type in plane flyby, and we're the top hit. We got like 1 million hits in one day because like the FAA got involved, all this stuff. And he buzzed a camera person within like a foot. And I was right next to her, but she wasn't prepared for it. Like, we just trust him because we know, but she almost crapped her pants. So yeah, just type in plane flyby if you're listening.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to check that out. And I'm wondering, how much practice do you guys put into this? Because this is life and death stuff right here.
It is. It's straight. You know what? It's minimal practice. And the reason why is this. Because we've done it for years. I mean, I've been stunning motorcycles since I was 20, so 9 years. And so we put in the seat time to be able to do our own precision work. And then he does his precision work. So when we do practice, yes, it takes time, and it takes hours, and we usually just do it on Sundays. But yeah, I mean, you can't employ someone who's okay at stunt riding. Like, if they're not someone you're trusting,
there's no C players.
Yeah, there's no room for error here.
So it sounds like each one of you has put in the time individually before you guys all kind of met.
Yeah, and there's no like audition process. You have to know somebody to get in our group. Like, you have to someone's got to recommend you. So it comes highly. It's an elite squad, if you will.
So now I'm wondering, what's really going on in your mind when you're performing these stunts?
Man, I tell you what, you literally put in some headphones and you crank them up and you feel like you're in your own James Bond movie. You just like, you have to like let all fear go, because if you're fearful, you're going to mess up. So you literally just go, I'm doing my thing. And you just, the whole time you can't even smile big enough, because it is the best adrenaline rush. It's a camaraderie adrenaline rush. It's one thing to like go racing down the street by yourself or whatever. But when you're like, again, responsible for your end of the bargain, you just start, it's really cool when you do a good show.
Yeah, it's probably like everyone's adrenaline is probably rushing and pumping together, and then show ends.
Oh yeah, and then when the show ends, you're just like, yeah, man, we did it, we killed it, and the fans see it, and the fans love the enthusiasm, and the kids, man, it keeps you going, because you're sitting there going like, we get bum rushed, like, and you think, you know, we're wearing helmets, no one knows who we are. We take those helmets off and we go to our little tent, and man, it is like it. That's when I knew, man, there's something to motorcycles, and kids love them. I loved them. I forgot how much of a kid, like, you just think a guy does a wheelie, you think he's the coolest guy on the planet. And I forgot how just a simple wheelie dazzles kids and stuff like that.
And I'm sure you didn't get this good without having, you know, your challenges on the bike. So is there any accidents that you had that you can share with us?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I'm one of the only riders in the world that has never hurt himself, compound fractured or anything. I've fallen off the bike at 70 miles an hour, 55, rolled. I've scratched my skin, you know.
So what's that like? 70 miles an hour, you're falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's that experience like?
Yeah, no, all you're doing is get up. You're rolling, and all you're thinking is get up, get up, get up. What's gonna happen? You're just like, stand on your feet, stand on your feet, stand on your feet, and
you're sliding, or you're just like rolling over and over.
Or yeah, you're rolling, yeah, because it's grippy. It's interesting. I can't explain it. It's not. You're not scared. You're just in wonderment, I guess. What it is. You're just like, wow, this is happening. Like, it's like you're not like scared for your life for some reason. Wow. You're just in the moment, and your adrenaline kicks in. You don't feel a thing if you do get hurt. Like, you don't feel anything. And then about 5 minutes later, you're like, ow. I feel like my butt does not have any skin on it anymore. Or whatever. But I fell down in a ride one time because my back brake went out because of just a bad brake setup. That, by the way, advice for listeners, never skimp on your rear hand brake. Just remember that. Whatever amount of expense that you need to pay to have a good setup, do it, because I went down and I got back up, started immediately riding, but then I knew, man, my handbrake's out. So just stuff like that. I've just been really lucky.
Yeah, most definitely. So knowing all that and the risk, I mean, what keeps you going? It's really dangerous.
Yeah, because some of my friends have died. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, I have a good friend. He went out, died for sure. I've had friends that are amazing that have broken collarbones and ankles and months of repair and all this. And I literally, truly count my blessings daily that I've never had that problem. I don't know if it's cockiness or just true passion, because it's like, I guess everybody has that. I mean, if anybody's in this sport, they have that, it can't happen to me thing. I'm better, or I'll watch out for that, or I won't do quite that thing, you know, or maybe it was just an anomaly. You think about the math in your favor as opposed to against you. And then at the end of the day, it's like, well, there's not doing it. You know, when you disengage what you love to do, it's hard to live for me. So I'd rather die being passionate and loving what I do than to live in safety. I mean, you know, I'm not saying be stupid, but you know, my pilot said it best. Is like, what we do is dangerous enough, so we're going to take as much safety precautions as we can. And then at that point, then you're like, okay, then you're not being stupid. You're just doing what you love to do. And at the end of the day, you know, I want a family like everybody else and have kids and this and that. So, you know, I don't want to just get out of here and at 30 years old and just be like, I died. You know, I weigh the risks, but this is just what I do.
Yeah, so I mean, it's what you're passionate about. So at the end of the day, like you're gonna be as safe as you can, but you're gonna keep doing it because this is what drives you. You know, you found something, so you're gonna continue doing it.
Absolutely. And the cool thing about it is getting off the street. I haven't done a street ride in a while, and I won't do it unless there's 1,000 bikes. Because then if you go down, the bikes see you. You're not going to get run over by a car. You're in front, and all your buddies are in the back protecting you. So, just to take stuff like that. But just, oh man, when I was in my early 20s, it was how I got through that. I mean, I would literally, I live in a town called Frisco, Texas, when I was in 20s, and it was really far north Dallas, and it was probably a 15-mile trek from Frisco to Dallas, and I would literally go on one wheel from Frisco to Dallas by myself, no stopping, and would be switching lanes on one wheel the whole time and just weaving in and out of cars on one wheel. Yeah. And I'd keep up with traffic. So like I'm going 70 miles an hour, just like another car. So they didn't really get too mad at me because I wasn't blocking traffic or whatever. You know how when the other motorcycles, they'll block traffic. But I was like, I didn't want anybody to get pissed off. How someone didn't, I don't know.
You're just so concerned about traffic, you're just keeping up. Well, what kind of advice do you have on overcoming fear? I mean, obviously you do this, regularly. So what advice do you have for those wanting to overcome fear?
I've been asked that question on more than one occasion from riders that are like, how do you go faster than 60 miles an hour? And I've gone like 190, and I'm just going, what? Like I don't even think of that. To me, it's 60 is so slow, but I never really grasped that there was a fear out there of going fast. But then there's riders that ride motorcycles. You're like, wait a minute, you're riding a motorcycle. You're already doing something dangerous. So now it's hard for you. So I never quite got it. And I would just tell anybody is dealing with the fear of anything really is, what is it worth? You're going to do what you love anyways. So you just weigh, either do it or don't, I guess. It's like, man, go ride, go fast, go do it. If you think about it too much is the problem. It's like you have no decision on whether you're going to die or stay alive. You just got to live and, be that champion inside of you and overcome your fears. And I have a pastor friend of mine who always said, don't feel your way into an action, because if you feel like doing it, you're not going to do it. So act your way into a feeling. Just do it. The feelings will come along.
I like that. And not too long ago, I was watching a commencement speech by Jim Carrey, the actor, the comedian. And he said in this speech, he's like, you can fail at doing something you don't like doing. So you might as well try and do something that you actually love doing. He was referring to his father, who kept working jobs that he hated, and he was getting laid off. So,
yeah, because you work that much harder in your attention to detail. I mean, that's a huge quote. Yeah, you can fail. That's perfect, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Any advice on helping guys like stay out of their comfort zone, like getting comfortable being uncomfortable?
Yeah, I tell people this. I say, live like you're gonna die in 5 years. Seriously, not in a day, because then you're just gonna you're gonna go crazy or tell everybody you love them or go do whatever you're gonna do. Some people have their own way of going out, or not even a year, because you're still gonna change your entire lifestyle. But if you thought I got 5 years to go, you'd still do your businesses, but you'd be passionate, you'd be trying to kill it, and you maybe want to leave a legacy, you'd want to do whatever. So same thing, if you would start crossing off your bucket list, because you wouldn't be thinking, oh, I have guaranteed another 40 years. Well, first of all, you can only add years to the end of your life. And quality of life from 60 to 80 is not as awesome, I guess, physically as your 20s to your 40s. So, I mean, this is the time, especially for your age group of listeners, this is the time to do it. I mean, you can get old later, maybe. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised. But everybody forgets. They think along those levels of, we're promised 80 years here. And, we're not. And so do your passions, do what you love, and the money will come. As soon as you're a master at whatever you do, you can charge a fee for it. Like, you're a master. So you just got to give up that time. And that's why they say entrepreneurs eat ramen noodles for a while. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't want to give up their nice little 30K a year, and that's fine, but if you're really seeking to change that situation, you got to man up and decide, hey, I'm willing to take the consequences, because the consequences are worth it. Unless, you have children to feed and whatnot. But even then, it's like, there's always a way. There's always a way. And where there's a will, there's a way.
Your 5-year strategy is just so much more effective and more realistic than saying, like, live every day like it's your last.
Absolutely.
That's just, you would go crazy. I mean, if you really had one day, you would go nuts.
For sure.
And that's not really a good way to live. But 5 years, it's realistic. Like, I would still wake up and interview you, and do this podcast.
Yeah, you would. And so that's why I say it's your 5-year plan. You got 5 years to make a dent and 5 years to cross your bucket list off. It doesn't have to be today, but like, live in the meantime, like, take breaks, go smell the roses.
All right, very good. Let's now, Remington, move into the knowledge round. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for the knowledge round, Remington?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Do you ever have so many books to read that you end up not reading at all? You have so many books in your library on your list of books that you want to read, but you don't know which books to tackle first? I know in all of my episodes, I ask guests, what are your favorite books? What are your most influential books? And they always list 3 or 4. And I always ask guests for their favorite success quote. I find that quotes can be so powerful sometimes, yet there's so many available. So what I've done is I put together a list of the top 30 books and top 30 success quotes that I think every man must live by. And these are directly from guests on the Knowledge for Men podcast. And as you know, some of the guests on my show sold their companies for millions of dollars. They're running billion-dollar organizations. They're dating coaches. They're health coaches. They're entrepreneurs. They're celebrities on TV. They're mixed martial artists. Just this wide variety of great minds. And I put together a list of the top 30 books and top 30 success quotes that every man must live by. You can download this guide for free at kfmfree.com. Again, that's kfmfree.com.
Welcome to the Knowledge Round, where the guests will be asked rapid-fire questions to give the audience invaluable pieces of wisdom to help transform their lives. Starting in 3, 2, 1, showtime.
All right, Remington, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's feeling lost or unsure of what they should do with their life?
It's very simple. Your purpose for life is living, not dying. And so get spiritual with love yourself. That's it. The first things first. Love yourself. The greater you love yourself, the greater you love everybody else. So get in touch with yourself, whether that's spiritually with God, or if you don't believe in that, just believe in yourself. Love yourself.
I like that. Love yourself. I asked that question to almost all of my guests, and you're the first one to say, like, man, just chill out, love yourself. Start there. I like that. All right, and Remington, what was holding you back from becoming the man you are now today?
Women. No, for sure. No, absolutely. No, you know what's held me back is, besides just the obvious, like chasing relationships and whatnot and getting caught up in negative environment. But main thing that holds you back is societal's thought process of where you should be and what you should do. And you're constantly gauging your life with that of the world. And sometimes you get caught up into, man, I just need to make money for this because I got to pay for dinners and relationships and whatever. And I want to like do this, but putting my passion on the side, as opposed to, you know what, I'm going to go all in and then I'll figure the rest out later.
Yeah, like social conditioning, society telling you this is what you should be doing, like that kind of thinking.
A certain thing. You get your license at 16, you can smoke at 18, you can drink at 21, you get your insurance thing at 25, you go to college, you get married, you do this, and it's like nothing wrong with those things, but there's other ways of thinking, there's other ways of being passionate in your life that you can say, you know what? I say it like this. It's very simple. You're a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. So when I ever talk or mentor to like people, I always say, look, you're not a girl, you're not a guy, you're not your age, you're not whatever. You're a being that is bigger than this whole thing. And so when you answer a question, answer it as that. When you do something, do it as you. You are who you are, and love that, and then go from there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And Remington, who's been a mentor to you, and how has this person helped you?
My mother, for sure. Like, without her, I would be not here, for sure. Like, she has kept me grounded and always been the spiritual influence in my life, for sure. And then pastors, and then good friends that always kept me accountable. Not saying I haven't messed up, because I have definitely messed up, and it has wasted a lot of time. So, and that's the one thing that's priceless in this world is time. You can't get it back.
Yeah, so true. Have you ever had a mentor like actually tell you something really impacted you, just like this one conversation?
Yeah, I had a problem with like hypocrisy kind of thing. I was always like, I didn't want to like step foot in church or anything because I was like living a different lifestyle, and my pastor friend buddy of mine was like, why don't you come to church? And I would tell him like, I'm really struggling with this thing. He's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You're telling me you're staying out of church because you don't want to disrespect God. And I was like, yeah, I just don't want to like come in his house like all like, whatever. And he's like, the pastor is just as bad as you. Again, I'm trying to apply this to people who aren't, believe in God or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the same principle. It's forgive yourself, and then you'll be able to move forward. It's a big thing that happened for me, is just truly forgive yourself, because you're the same as everybody else. Everybody has their dirty laundry.
Yeah, we certainly do. And Remington, what are your 3 most influential books, and if you can explain why?
Oh man, Michael Jordan biography was like the one I read when I was in elementary school, and it was really cool seeing how he used to play basketball with like baskets and like his story, and so that was a huge one for me. And then Mentor for a Millionaire was another one that I really enjoyed, and Rich Dad Poor Dad, the Bible, that helps.
All right, sticking with the classics. And you can pick up one of these books for free at kfmbook.com. You can get one of these books in audio book format. All right, and Remington, got a scenario here for you. If you had 60 seconds with your 20-year-old self, what would you tell him to do, and what would you tell him not to do?
First off, I would just beat his ass. I'd swear I would just be like, all right, look, bro, here's where you're going to go. Here's where you're going to do. That girl is poison, is what I would say. I would say, all that time you spent playing video games, that's time that you could, I'm not saying totally German Nazi, don't do anything but this little box that you put yourself in, and not to enjoy the life in the meantime. But if there's something that you want to do, either do it or don't half-ass it. So I would tell myself, man, you wasted a lot of time. I'm trying to prevent that. So, I mean, as good as I am today, I could be a lot better at everything and do more stuff and be out there better and faster. And I would definitely say, turn it up a notch, bro.
That's funny. You just punch him in the face or what?
I would absolutely and then help him up and go buy him a beer.
Yeah, but he might fight back though. He's gonna get in a fight.
Yeah, that's true. It's like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. What happens?
All right, and just kind of looking back and looking at the things you've successfully accomplished in your life and what you've overcome, what would you say is your philosophy on life and success, Remington?
Truly never quitting. And I know that's easy to say and hard to do, but it's kind of like fishing. Yeah, there's going to be days you don't get anything, but if your fishing pole is in the water, you can't get in anything ever. So, some people catch it in the first 5 minutes, and some people catch it right at the end of the day, and some people have to wait a couple days. So same thing, with life. If you got to stick your pole in the water and just leave it there and never take it out, never stop. Because Macklemore's story, man, homeboy made it at 30 and like 30, 31. And he had a deal on the table with Jimmy Iovine out of Interscope Records. Walked into it and literally walked out on him because he was left with 3.5% out of 100%. So he was like, haha, you're joking me. And he wrote a song about it called Jimmy Iovine. And listen to it. He spells it out. And it's the most crazy song I've ever heard, just someone calling someone out. But like, this is a man who's finally got success in the eyes of the pop world to finally come out at 30. It's quote unquote old. So I'm sure he's had times where he wanted to quit, and everybody does, but you just got to stay relevant and never give up.
Yeah, I mean, it's so simple, like, oh, don't give up. But people are giving up every day. That's the bottom line.
Well, I relate it to a diet. You know what to do to lose weight. You do. It's called eat right. And everybody knows what to do. It's just actually putting down the burger and putting down the cake and putting down the beer. It's like, you know what to do. It's not a mystery, but everybody has a hard time with it. And I understandably so. So that's how I relate it for sure.
All right. And Remy, what's exciting you today? Like, what kind of stuff are you actively working on right now?
You know what? I just finished a video just now I'm going to be doing a segment on Playboy TV. And so that's going to be cool. And they want to see my video and everything. So I just edited a new video. But
what's the video? Is it like stunt riding or?
Yeah, it's literally everything that I do, from music to stunt riding to wakeboarding, snowboard, every single extreme activity I do, and just kind of the lifestyle behind it. And so I'm actually going to post it here shortly. So if anybody wants to see it, like, just go to remingtonmusic.com. But anyway, the main thing is I'm gearing up for a tour. And I'm in the studio writing right now new songs that totally fit the lifestyle, the energy of like a good tour, and give people songs that work with the visuals. So that's what I'm doing. And then in the meantime, looking for sponsors for the tour, and so that it'll be huge, because I mean it's definitely a big show. It's going to take some money for sure. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, and then doing some writing for TV and film out here in LA, and doing some acting stuff as well. That's what I'm up to, and can't wait to start performing again.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. Have you thought about contacting Red Bull? I just see like a good fit there.
Yeah, man. Like, I would love Red Bull, because I mean, my pilot's 42 years old. And they have a pilot that's in his 70s, and my pilot just straight up is better and is younger, and they need a younger demographic anyway. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer for Red Bull to get on board, but I haven't been contacted by them or anything.
All right. Well, best of luck there, and go ahead and give yourself a plug so my audience can follow up with you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Remington Music. My website is Remington Music, and then all my updates and all my other, like Twitter and such, is all on there, all my links. So just go there, and my YouTube from there, and coming out with new videos all the time now. And I've got footage for days, so I'm starting to put stuff out there.
All right, Remy, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your story and lessons with my community here.
Well, thanks for having me, brother. And if you ever need me again, absolutely would love to chat. So thanks for having me.
All right, that's going to wrap up episode 78 with Crazy Remy.
Thank you for listening to the Knowledge for Men podcast show. It's been a pleasure having you be a part of a thriving community of men who want to crush it in all aspects of life. I'm on a mission here to inspire millions of guys, and with your help, we're going to make a dent in the universe. Check out knowledgeformen.com for a ton of free content that's designed to help you live a remarkable life. Again, that's knowledgeformen.com. I hope to see you there, and always remember, 2014 is the official year of the crush, where we take action to get the life we've always dreamed of. This is your host, Andrew Farabee, and until next time, let's do it.